As I am now, so you must be. Prepare for death and follow me. Oh wow, that turned dark very, very quick. I was not expecting, I'm going to be honest, I was not expecting that, to say that. Prepare for death and follow me. Prepare for death. I guess it's something we all gotta do. There's no escaping death. We already obviously know that. There's no escaping death. I already mentioned that there's a lot of McHargues out here, hence the name McHargue Cemetery. But check this one out. I'm unsure if it's McHargue. It probably is, but it's literally resting up beneath this tree, against the tree. It's very, very tough to read. It looks like TB. Oh man, this is gonna be, I'm not even gonna attempt. I will overlay what I can. If I can. 1859, it looks like. I don't know if I'm even gonna be able to find the research on this. That is super old. Just very unique how it's just resting against the tree. It's actually in the ground, so buried beneath the tree. This makes you wonder how small this tree was at the time. You can actually see the tree actually grew around it. That's so interesting. Honestly, I don't think Carol's going to be buried in the middle here. It seems like a lot of these are just McHargues. She may be buried on the side. Now I know she does have a son that is buried here alongside her. Well, I don't know if he's buried alongside her, I would assume. Yeah, the only family that is showing up for Carol is her child, one child. And he is Jonathan C. Rich. He was born 1995, and he also passed away in 1995 at the age of 3 months. So I would assume he's going to be buried alongside her, I would imagine. I'm not sure. I still have yet to find any Rich cemetery with the name Rich. Or grave, headstone, I mean. We're going to keep looking though. If I do not find it in this video, Carol's headstone, her grave, and her son Jonathan, we'll do it in another video. I'm already dedicated in this deep already in this deep, so we need to try finding it. Look at this headstone. Very, very old. It has a crack right in the center. Wow. Daniel Klontz, born 1972, passed away in 2013. Has a nice little windmill. He actually has some other things as well. A bird, Mickey Mouse, Goofy, and 2 bunny rabbits. The wind just stopped. Stopped just like that. Don't know if that's a ghost or what. I don't mean no harm. But it just stopped just like that. Unless that's a way of Daniel telling me that I'm being noticed. It started going again. That is super weird. I mean, I know people in the comments are going to be like, oh, it's just the wind. That's how it is. But hey, you know what? Things happen. And there it goes again. Things happen. And there it goes. And it stops. Daniel, if you can hear me, spin that. It is turning. Daniel, if you can hear me, you're listening. Spin that. Let me guess, you're a prankster, and when I turn around, it's gonna start going then. It's a very interesting one. Earl W. Lockerbie, 1965 to 1991. Check that out. That is pretty cool. It's actually in, like, the texture's like coming out embossed. I believe that's the word I'm looking for. That is cool. Here's his flag. Very cool. This is the first time I've ever seen something like this. I don't even see a name. It just says 1966 to 2010. There's no name whatsoever. Not even in the center there. Nothing in the back. I have never seen something like that. All right, well, I am in the furthermost last section of the cemetery. I looked through the middle. I did not see it. Once again, it obviously could have been overlooked because there are so many of them. Here we have Joyce Ann Carr. She passed away April 5th, 2025. And like I said, we are now in early August. So April, May, June, July, August, March is when Carol passed away. Okay, so Carol, the ground should look, for the most part, like this, just like Joyce's. It may be in this area. Okay, there's a very similar looking marker that I saw over there, Barbara Flannelly Gregory. Nothing on the back, just, yeah, I've never seen one like that before. I mean, I haven't walked in tons and tons of cemeteries, but I've never seen one like that. It's almost like a aluminum, almost like an aluminum, I hate to say it, it kind of feels like a license plate. Maybe it's for ones that couldn't really afford or can't afford a headstone at the moment. And then over here I'm seeing Gilbert Mills, born September 3rd, which is my mom's birthday. 9/3/1970, and he passed away February 23rd, 2018. And he just has a wooden cross up alongside the barbed wire. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, I completely understand. Oh, okay, no, okay, yeah. So there's his headstone, if you will. And right along here, the ground actually is elevated. I wonder why it does that. Even David Flannelly there, the ground's kind of elevated. He was born in 2023, or passed away in 2023. And Gilbert here's his memorial. There's his picture. I mean, I hate to step here in the center, but I really want to show you guys. I'll just try to stretch my arm. In loving memory of Gilbert Ray Mills Jr., 1970 to 2018. And then over here was Barbara Flannelly Gregory. Okay, that's Larry Keith Mills. So we need to keep walking. Well, over here looks kind of maybe promising. That's Daryl. It's Kenneth Lee. David A. Wren. I am not finding Carol at all, guys. I really like that. I really like that. It's stone too. It's not like a fiberglass. I really, really like that. It's holding the solar light. I like that. I do. That means it's lit up at night from the solar. I love solar. I love solar. I'm a big solar nerd. I love solar. So I like that. I like how they did that. Attach the solar light with almost like it's like a wire wrap. I like that. And then over here, Pawpaw and Mama are in. Very unique grave. As you can see, we have the Tonka truck, and it has coal being hauled in the back of it. Surrounded by coal. Now, I'm not sure what these shiny rocks are. I'm not sure about those. I love rocks. I think rocks are very unique and interesting to, look at. I just don't know a whole lot about them. But I do know that this is coal. We are literally in the land of coal. We're in Kentucky. And down here, there's actually other little Tonka trucks too, hauling coal as well. So maybe perhaps Dallas was a coal miner, or maybe he had relatives that are coal miners. And down here, have big old chunks of coal. And you can see the layers. I find this very unique myself because, well, it's unique and it's not something you really see too often. But also, I find what really draws me to it is the fact that I actually have coal mining in my family. If you didn't know, I mentioned it briefly in some videos, not a whole lot, that I actually have relation here in Kentucky. Now, East Kentucky, Prestonsburg, Reisner, Kentucky, East Kentucky. I have relatives. I don't know any of the relatives. My grandma, on my mom's side, was born and raised in Prestonsburg, Kentucky, which is East Kentucky, alongside by like West Virginia in that area. And she moved up to Ohio and had my mother. And then I was born in Ohio, obviously. Wasn't really a big fan of Ohio, but now I'm down here in Kentucky where my roots are. I'm not in East Kentucky, but I'm still in Kentucky and I love it. But anyways, it would have been my great grandpa. He was a coal miner here in Kentucky back in the day. It was a very common thing back in the day because there wasn't much work. At least in East Kentucky, there just wasn't a lot. If you ever seen the movie Coal Miner's Daughter, Loretta Lynn, my grandma would always tell my mom, that's how I grew up. Exactly how we grew up. Coal Miner's Daughter, Loretta Lynn, the movie. And the song, even the song, yeah, she would say, yeah, in the song, that's how we grew up. So, I think it's very, very, very unique to have that. Very unique. As I was walking out of here to leave to head back to the car along this road, I was eyeballing some of these graves because I want to see if I can find Carol's grave. Just do a brief look before I leave. I noticed this grave here, Edna Mae Smith. And it jumped out to me because, well, the really unique embossing of what appears to be maybe a dog, a sheep. But she was very, 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 that doesn't even put into perspective how young she was. She was just a baby, newborn. Born June 3rd, 1945. She passed away that same year, November 7th, 1945. Budded on earth to bloom in heaven. And as you can see, some nice butterflies alongside her headstone. Now, I think something else that really drawed me to this is the fact that her middle name, May, that's the same middle name that I gave my daughter, Presley. Presley May Ritchie. Spelled the same way and all. Now, I did not find Edna's reason of death, cause of death, but I did find her. Oh yeah, you guys can see this a lot better now that I'm in the shade. Now, all the other times when I showed you guys, because we're under a tree with some shade, all the other times I tried showing you guys my phone, it was just because of the glare of the sun. But this is newspapers.com. I was telling you guys about, as you can see, I was able to search Edna Mae Smith, 1945, Kentucky. And it shows me 1,684 matches. And right here we have a newspaper from November 8th, 1945. They reported it the next day of when she passed away. And we can click on it. The Corbin Times. And it even highlights the name right there. Infant dies Wednesday. Edna Mae Smith, the 5-month-old daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jim T. Smith, died at her home at Lilly, Kentucky, Wednesday, November 7th, 1945 at 2:30 p.m. Surviving are the parents, 2 brothers, Stanley Ray and Jackie, 1 sister, Dale, grandparents, Mr. and Mrs. G.B. Copley of Lilly, Mr. and Mrs. Perry Steele of Boring, Kentucky. Funeral services were held Thursday, November 8th at 2 p.m. at the Lilly Holiness Church with Reverend Ernest Feltz officiating. Interment was in the McHargue Cemetery by the Alwyn Funeral Home. Now, I know here it does say surviving are the parents and so. That may not be the case now, obviously. This newspaper is from this is the original newspaper from 1945. So, Edna Mae Smith. She even has a nice plant hanger right here under the shade of the tree. Now, at least on findagrave.com, there is her photo, but I'm not seeing parents or anything on here. Maybe it just hasn't been updated. I'm not sure how that really works. I think someone has to physically go in and input those things, I believe. I believe that's how that works. But there you have it. Edna Mae Smith. Well, guys, I moved my car. I was parked over there into the cemetery on the little pathway on the side. And this is the only other place that I could think of where Carol may be buried. And I think it's a stretch because none of it looks like it. And this may be a family cemetery. Actually, I think it is because it's not even really part of the McHargue Cemetery. It's like fenced off. Man, so I hope walking on here no one's gonna yell at me or tell me off, because I'm seeing 2 Taylors there. Kenny Wayne Smith, born June 10th, January 18th, 2005 to 2006. Another Smith. And then over here, now there is Riley's grave. If you made it this far into the video, you remember that. I cleaned that grave up. Like I said, it was just on the end. And here's Connie D. Smith. Born January 25th, 1985. And she passed away January 26th, 1985. Daughter. So I'm thinking this may be a family cemetery. Possibly, because it's just kind of ironic how that's fenced off like that. I know I don't have the best eyes in the world, but I can see that those ones back there do say Taylor, both of them. That one is Kenny Smith, and this one's Connie Smith. And there is William and Sudie Smith there. So I'm thinking this may possibly, I could be wrong, I'm thinking maybe possibly this part could be a family cemetery. I could be wrong though, but it is weird how it is separated, divided by this barbed wire fence, because that side is technically McHargue Cemetery. Very unfortunate, assuming that, and I can look into that. I can look it up. I just don't want to take up the time on the video doing it. I can do it off camera. That Kenny Wayne Smith, right there, it's a baby, passed away, born 2005, passed away 2006. And then Connie here, born January 25th and passed away the next day, 1985. And it's just very unfortunate they had deaths like that, having your babies die like that. Like I mentioned earlier, I could not imagine that feeling. Could not imagine it. Let's go ahead and look at these graves here, headstones, and then I think we're going to wrap up the video. We'll have to come back another time. Another thing that dawned on me, and it kind of don't make sense, is that what if Carol don't even have a headstone yet? What if she doesn't? I don't know. I don't know anybody around here to ask. I guess I technically could go in some public, like private Facebook groups that I am in some and ask around. I don't know. I just want to do a story on it and talk about it on video. I feel like it needs to be known, it needs to be out there. So, I don't know. But it doesn't make sense for me to say that because, like I said, her son, Jonathan, is buried in McHargue Cemetery, and he passed away in 1995, if I remember correctly, and I couldn't even find that. In fact, there are other Riches that are born out in the McHargue Cemetery back here. There's other Riches born, or buried, and I still could not even find any of the Riches graves. I don't know. Let's go ahead and take a look at Kenny and Connie's grave headstone, and we'll wrap up the video. Okay, so after looking on Find a Grave, I did not find any of these on Find a Grave, a part of the McHargue Cemetery. So I am thinking that this is a family cemetery, so I want to be very brief with this. I'm thinking it is, because like I said, the name Smith, their names would be on Find a Grave, and they're not for McHargue Cemetery. So like I said, that's leading me to believe that this is a family cemetery. So I kind of want to wrap this up. Here we have Connie D. Smith. I don't want to hang around and do the research right now, newspaper, but I will include whatever I can, photos if anything. Anything I can possibly find, I will overlay here. But she was born January 25th, passed away January 26th, 1985. Here she has an angel. Wind chime. Oh, that's a solar light bulb. It's filled with water though, but. And then over here we have what I'm going to believe is her, possibly her grandparents. She was born in 85 and they were both born in the 30s. Possibly grandparents. I just feel very nervous standing here, because cars are going by and I don't want them to tell me off. Okay, over here we have William and Sudie Smith. Like I said, I will overlay whatever information I possibly can. Okay, so this says daughter here, daughter. And then here, okay, yes, we have dad. You can just barely see it. Dad, and then over here, mom. So this was William and Sudie was the mother and father of Connie D. Smith. So looking over here, Kenny Wayne Smith, born June 10th, 2005. And if William passed away in 2014, this may be may possibly maybe be a grandson. I'm not sure. I will overlay whatever information I can. I don't really have time to really stand here and think, because I think this is a family cemetery, and I don't know if I can technically be here. It's not fenced off or anything. I don't know. Kenny Wayne Smith, born June 10th, 2005, and he passed away January 18th, 2006. And as mentioned, the only other graves that I see are Taylor, and that is all the way over here. We have Jerry W. Taylor, born February 9th, 1950, and passed away July 23rd, 2008. Son, and then mom. Roscoe Jr. Taylor, born February 4th, 1928, passed away July 25th, 2001. And then Pauline, born August 18th, 1930, passed away February 27th, 2015, in God's care. Now there is a little drive-in part here that leads to that gate. That does say no trespassing. As far as I know, there's nothing on that tree there that speaks of no trespassing. And over here, there's a bench stool that says, "Our family chain is broken and nothing seems the same. But as God calls us one by one, the chain will link again." There you have it. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this one, guys. It was a fail in finding Carol's grave, her headstone, if there even is one at the moment. She passed away in March of this year, and we're in August now, early August. But you know what? It wasn't a failed video. I was able to clean up Riley's grave, and I was very happy to do so. We'll be back. We'll be back. I want to try to find some research on Carol's grave. I hate to go ask around, family and stuff on Facebook, but I'll try to find some information. But we will be back someday to find Carol's grave and do a story on her very brutal, unfortunate death, because it needs to be talked about. It should be talked about, I think. Very unfortunate. We'll be back. We'll be back.